That's cool. That's cool. Um, I have come up with a Twitch layout I'm going to show you today where um, I like it. So far, it's working for me. It allows me to have all the docs open. But now that I've started the dream, the dream,
The stream.
the stream. Hold on a second. I've got Macarena open, and somebody's trying to get me to join a fight, and I need to close Macarena so people are not thinking that I'm there. Um, okay, and I'm just monitoring what's going over to this screen. What in the world? All right, so theoretically, I should be able to go to Twitch. And so what I'm doing right now, you see, I've got my phone, right? And I open up Twitch, and I'm going to my channel, and I can see I'm live there. And I'm just a couple of seconds behind. Oh, wait a second. There's Traintastic. Traintastic, are you still there? Can you see this? I'm doing this. Okay. And this is why. Okay, Ken, you see my smartphone here?
I see your smartphone.
Oh, okay. Can you let me get it closer? Right.
I
So,
really, I really can't tell any detail on it, but yeah,
yeah, that's that. The thing is your chat on Twitch is going to lay on the side of your when you're on Twitch, and like you're streaming a class or something to Twitch or something like that. Your Twitch chat is going to be there on the left. Now, I can go if I bring up this screen modification thing. I can close the chat, and then it's just my layout. And that's kind of what I want to put here, so I can just see if what I'm sending is stuff that can be seen on stream like that. Now, what I'm gonna show here is this Twitch layout. I'm gonna bring it to the forefront with the mirror, and actually I'm gonna switch it to a blank scene so you can just see this. Okay, so going back to what we're learning about the way this thing works, we have a number of docs, right? The docs that we have are scenes. Okay, scenes are right down here.
right.
So this is a
So
blank.
what this is, this, what I'm looking at is the OBS.
Yeah,
Inter-
yeah. And
okay.
actually, okay, I'm looking at the phone, and what I need to do to make this be cool is to open my magnifier, which I'm doing now. Hold on a second. Okay. And everything should be running smoothly for me, but I don't know. It's doing something stupid. So my I hit escape. Okay, there we go. Whatever that was. All right, it's gone now. All right, so the this doc here is stream information. Okay, so see this one, right?
Right.
Okay, so the title of it, the go live notification. I can write something fancy schmancy in here. if I want, right? I've got 140 characters. This everybody who follows me is going to get a notification on their phone when I go live. You got
Right.
that? And they'll also get an email, right? Okay, then next is category. And for some reason, it's the education category has this adventure game thing. I don't know what that is, but I had saw on like a Google search that they were just going to add an education category for just stuff like this, which is training, right?
Right.
Is not big, right? 1.9K. That's 1,900. Or no, that's 19,000, right? So
Right.
so that's
But
19.
right at 20,000 people.
Yeah, and right now it says there's only 9 people watching educational stuff. Okay,
Right.
so and then I got some tags of stuff that I'm typically topics I'm generally going over, and so I've got the whole thing. I can check this to say if I'm rerunning stuff, like streaming my stream or whatever,
Right.
and set the string, the language. Let viewers know if your stream features branded content. This includes paid product placement, endorsement, or other commercial relationships. To learn more, view our Help Center article. Okay, so there's my first doc. Now the second one, and this is one that I didn't typically have. It's one that I just would look at periodically, right? But it is the Twitch activity feed. It's the very last one here. And these show who followed me. And I can scroll all the way back. It goes on and on all the way back until last December when I started this. Now our viewer is probably Traintastic, who's a guy that watches some of my streams, and sometimes he streams his stream in my stream. But those are 3 docs on that side. And then I put one doc, the chat doc. I want to have this a little bit wider. And I'll show you why. Like say this guy comes on, the dark shadowy figure, right? And I've already followed him. So I would click this to follow him. But if this column is too narrow, it's going to cover this X.
Right.
All right, hold a second. For some reason, my screen went blank. Trying to keep an eye on my. Maybe what's going on here is my my virtual camera is not set up right. Hold on a second. I need to take the virtual camera and set it to, what was I on? I was on bugs, right? So that's right. I don't know why this is not, hold on a second. Yeah, and he's telling me too. Black screen. He told me when it was black, and I don't know why it's black. Oh, yes I do, and I'm going to show you because I put it on the blank layout physically to show that particular thing. All right, so I'm on the right scene, live scene bugs, but I'm streaming that blank screen. I was gonna, yeah, this is what I should have. Okay, so that's going to fix it. There we go. That's beautiful. All right. All right, can you see this? I got today to Mad Magazine. I think this is number 13 or number 14, and this is the Mad look at books versus Hollywood movies and how they get changed or whatever. So that's pretty funny. But back to what I was saying. If I go to follow somebody by clicking on them in the chat, and I'm going to hit follow. After I do that, after I look at this whisper, add guest, or these settings or whatever, I'm not going to be able to see it if this is too narrow. So that's why on the left side I have two narrow columns, which is my Twitch activity feed and my category thing. Okay. All right, there we go. Looking good. All right, okay. So that's that doc. Now across this is what is new in my layout. Okay, we saw the scenes doc, and we in each scene we have the sources doc, which is the source that changes for whatever source we're in, right? All right, but this one I typically would not show, right? But I would not have it in my layout. I was just like, where am I going to put this, right? But I sort of want to see. It's sort of like, an EKG,
Right.
how's the patient, is he dying or whatever? Am I dropping frames? What's going on? So what I came up with is I put this right in the bottom, and then it just narrows the audio mixer a little bit. And I don't need the audio mixer could be even narrower. Actually, I don't, what generally I'm looking for is that my my microphone and my desktop audio are hitting about in the yellow. All right, and then scene transitions. This is a way to set up what happens when I switch from one scene to another. So there are different kinds of transitions here. So I can cut, or I could fade, and then I've got these different ones. Let's try one. I'm gonna put one on. I've never done this before. Let's see if it works. And wait, okay. So enter. Hold on. It wants me to enter the name of the transition. So there we go. All right. And I'm gonna preview it. Preview. It's like, wow, you used to have to.
I mean, it's just like a slide. I mean, it's
Yeah.
or what we used to call a wipe.
Yeah, when I don't know if you remember, but when I was fairly little, the public broadcasting television station, Channel 8 or whatever, had a public access program, and you go down there, you sign up for it, and you go down there, and they had primitive video equipment that could do this kind of stuff. And I'm going to discard this. Anyway, you go down and go through a training program, and then they would give you public access, right? You could
Right.
You could put something on Channel 8 during the public access channel hour or whatever like that. And that's what I always remember is all that they had is like those kind of wipes, like a circle that opens up and reveals the scene behind it or something. And they had
Right.
2 decks or whatever, and it was all on cathode ray tubes and stuff like that, which is pretty nightmarish. A side note, something that's kind of like freaked me out a little bit is I was talking to Diane thinking about old times and everything like that. And for some reason, she was like, you're like V'ger on Star Trek. Like you went away and then you came back, like V'ger. And I was like, that's pretty heavy. But do you remember V'ger? And
Well, V'ger to me was the Voyager spacecraft that, or is it just another character?
well, yeah, it's like the Voyager, the story of that episode. It's like in season 2, and the season. The name of the episode is The Changeling. Right. In other words, Voyager was a baby, right?
Right.
And it was replaced by something really terribly evil, right? When it became sentient or whatever. And I was like, well, gee, thanks. But I don't remember ever seeing. Apparently, there was a Star Trek movie like in '79 or something like
Yeah,
that
there was a Star Trek movie that was all based around that.
about the TV episode.
Right.
Uh,
In,
uh,
in other words, I mean, it literally, and it's like I get the two confused whether it's the movie or the episode, but it was like uh, this massive, in other words, it had basically V'ger had, was crippled in space, and another vehicle that's programming was to assist, you know, in basically the two vehicles together, you know, the other vehicle, its AI created this massive craft so that it could complete its journey to find out about, what's on the other side of the universe. But the long and the short of it is, the ending of it, it was like, the original Voyager spacecraft was in this like room, and the guys from the Enterprise had beamed over and everything. And the long and the short of it is there was a physical connection that needed to be made to like do the final download of all this data. And Voyager shorted the hard line out so that basically its creator, the hand of God, had to come in and touch V'ger to make this physical connection so that all this data could be downloaded. But yeah, I mean, it was some pretty, you know,
heavy.
heavy, theological concepts, handled back then.
But yeah, to me, um, I've always done this thing like revisiting stuff, like what happened in the first year of my life, or what happened in the second. What can I firmly place? Because early on, people would say, well, you don't remember anything from such and such. The shafts of your brain are not myelinated, and I would always go back and try to remember the things of a year, and actually, our world is pretty small, you know.
Right.
There were a series of television shows that we watched, and then our kind of social studies or whatever kind of thing. There was the Vietnam commentary that was going on, and then there was World War II shows like The World at War and Victory at Sea.
Yeah, and they're all the westerns.
Yeah, the Rifleman, right?
Wagon Train.
Yeah, and the if you do that, I mean, for me, like, what is the one where it's like like when you're watching an old Star Trek episode and you're thinking about when they put that on television and all the cultural things that were going on. Usually, the Star Trek episode is not really a sign. It's kind of like a way of commenting on current affairs or
Right. I
current
mean,
issues.
Roddenberry was good about that.
Yeah.
So, well, it's like I remember him, hearing him talk about, Lieutenant Ubura, being, the A number one, she was a female officer, bridge officer. And not only that, she was black. So, he was saying, it said that was a big statement, back in the 60s. I mean, what I remember being really
And
small.
Chekhov, right?
Yeah,
Because
Chekhov.
what it wasn't. What is the gay guy? The pilot, Sulu.
Sulu, yeah.
Right. And he's a real maverick social commentator now and everything like that. He's still around. But yeah, wasn't he supposed to be Korean or something, or Japanese?
I don't know. Yeah,
And
he was-
it was like Chekhov. The whole thing was envisioning,
all the cultures coming together. Everyone that was at war with each other were going to come together
Pax-
and go into space together.
Pax Americana, right? So, why I say that is because, America was doing this whole thing of like rehabilitating the Irish, whereas there had been when the major Irish immigration had happened, there was terrible social problem and upheaval and problems with integration and violence and riots and stuff, and at the point where Kirk was supposed to be Irish, so it's like the captain of the ship, right? Captain Kirk or whatever it's supposed to be. So here you got it's kind of this is the American ideal or whatever, the imperial. We go and police the universe. We fly around solving problems, everybody else's trouble around the universe or whatever. And it was kind of that kind of commentary, but it's really I find that people don't notice that stuff. A lot of the time they'll be immersed in a culture, and they're not. It's hard for them to stand outside of their time and their milieu and go, oh, this is, this science fiction story is actually talking about current affairs or something like that.
Right.
But anyway, on this thing with this layout that I've got, what do you think? Can you see it fairly well?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. So
Well, it gives you a lot of information so that you can see what's going on.
right, and it's
And because it's like with me, it's like at church I do our webcast, and it's like keeping track of stats. It's like I have all these different machines that allow me that I have up and running so that I can monitor what's going on. Everything from people trying to chat me saying, well, the Spanish translation is bleeding over into the main program file,
right,
program audio, and vice versa. And I will literally get like a cell phone and log into each stream that's going out so that I can monitor stuff. And this is a nice, so that you see like your main stream in the center, but then you have all the data all around it so that you can see what's going on. So to me, I think that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's
And the fact that you can interact with it.
yeah, like it's going live over the stream, and I can change completely the layout and so on. And what I wanted to touch back on is the and I'm going to send this. I don't know if you remember Popular Mechanics.
I do.
That was great. I remember those magazines and Popular Electronics or whatever.
Yeah.
I would really like to get a hold of well, I do get, I manage to download them from time to time, but I'm getting ready to go and I'm going to send something, this link over the chat, because I thought it was like a really good all around article on shooting your own 3D movie, and they went through all the from very, I think they're talking about equipment that's from several $100s to $2,000, right? And how 3D is shot. Can you see that link?
I saw it come up and now it's gone.
So
So
in the bottom of your Google Meet, there's on the bottom right hand side, there's four
chat. Yeah.
icons,
Okay. I see that. Yeah.
and if you hit the chat, it's going to pop that out. Uh, and
Popular Mechanics. Ah, cool.
yeah, yeah. So take a look at that. That looked good. Oh, wait a second. Okay, good. Dismiss. All right.
Of course, I saw something the other day where the Wayback Machine, they were talking about it, and like some publishers have sued them, and it's basically over a lot of like university papers and stuff like that are out there that they're a verdict was given that they have to take that down because it's theft. The
That's
publishers
awful.
want to make,
You still
and I
there?
think
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, your video on my end is frozen. So the there you are, you're back. But yeah, I mean, it's like, to me, it's like I've been trying to find some software and firmware and drivers, and it's like I have an original Oculus developer kit that I'm trying to get the last like firmware version of, and it's like I can't find it anywhere. And it's just I know it's out there, but the long and the short of it, my fancy camera, the Jaunt One, uh, back when it came out, it was designed that you could use that Oculus 2 to view the output like in real time, like for uh, like live preview, and it does it through your Mac. And of course, Macs were never really set up good to do the Oculus stuff. But anyway, I've been trying to make that work. But my biggest thing right now is trying to find. Uh, I have a Samsung 360 round that I purchased, and there's this software that allows you to like interact through a LAN cable with it, but there's also the viewer software that at this point the viewer software is more important to me than the other software, and I can't find it anywhere. And when I go to the Samsung site trying to register the product, it's not supported anymore, so they don't recognize it. And of course, it says there, register your product so that you're eligible to download apps and other features not normally available. So I'm sure this was a program you could download once you registered your product. So anyway, that was on my list today, to call Samsung and see if I could say I'm trying to register this product and I really want this. Also, there's a Facebook page for the camera, and I posted something there asking if anyone had uh, the that software squirreled away anywhere.
Well, yeah, Ken. If you go on archive.org, you can go and find lots of the old software DVDs full of all the old software. And I hate to think that they're eventually gonna block that or whatever. It's like that. It's like this is all software that you can't run it. You know, it's supposed to run on XP or runs on. But the people that had collected all this software together, they made various DVDs, and yeah, if you search for software
I
on
think I was on that site and I didn't get any search results back for what I was entering in. So, I mean, what I'm going to do, as I said, I'm gonna, probably tomorrow, try to start the day trying to contact Samsung and say, listen, I'm a legitimate owner of this piece of equipment, and I know you don't support it anymore, but it's got to exist somewhere. Um, I know the what do you call it? What was the GoPro? The GoPro, they had their little like free editing software that came with that you could download, but then they had a paid version called Studio, and I had paid the money, 'cause, I mean, basically what it was a company called Cineform, which was like the first company to basically have all the metadata, in the file format, and that Cineform format basically became a standard that was supported by all these other video products. And long and the short of it, when GoPro was flush with money, they bought Cineform because Cineform had like 3D editing, more than anything, stuff to fix convergence and all that other stuff. And so they bought the company, and they had their little 3D rig you could shoot with your two GoPros. Well, GoPro finally, abandoned that product. Well, the problem is I have a legitimate license for that product, and what the problem is they all have to be activated. So every time you load that software, and it was very expensive software, so that you had to go to this activation server where you actually had to, do like triple handshakes where you disabled it on one device, and then it gave you a code, and you had to send them that. Then they would send you a code back, and so it was this multiple handshake system back between the company and you, so that you could reactivate your software because too many people were pirating it. Well, GoPro abandoned it, so those activation servers don't exist anymore. So it's like I've got like one or two machines that have that software on it that it has an active license. And it's like that's what I'm thinking about also about creating a virtual machine. But I don't know if there's a way that I can just copy, you understand what I'm saying, that drive, and it would work. Because in other words, I can't load the new software.
well, in terms of something like GoPro Studio thing like that, like we've got to. Well, let me just segue here. I wanted to do this thing of getting on Stream Elements, and going to the overlays gallery and picking an overlay, and then looking at the preview there, and then creating the overlay. And
Go for it.
yeah, so I did that. And these what appears is all the links, right? So I go to my overlays. All right, so now, like the one that I had set up before was the violet momentum one. This is a new one. All right, now what I want to do right now is just run through this process. But while I'm saying what I'm saying, think for a moment. Like, say you've got some GoPro HD footage, right? Well, if you can play HD footage in a scene, right, and you can wipe, cut, or fade, right? You could take go into OBS and just go, here's scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4, and just put your clips, your GoPro clips, in a sequence there, and just record it as you go, like you're literally recording the edit as you go. But yeah, a lot of people, I mean, the people that pirate stuff, a lot of times they're just that's just what they do. They're just interested in the issues of encrypting stuff and locking stuff and how to break the locks and stuff like that. It's a puzzle, and a lot of people just do it. And typically, for one, you know, I have enough experience of these software fiascos to really hesitate to buy something. I don't know if I'm gonna, and like, for example, I bought Photoshop probably 3 times and I don't buy it anymore. You know, I just make it run. Let's see. Okay, so let me see. You can see this, right? Okay, I hit this. I think it's this one. Hold on a second. Copy. Yeah, that's it. See that? Copy URL. All right, I'm just looking on my phone here. Okay, now I'm gonna see if I can find my magnifier, which I don't know if I can. There it is. All right. So now I go back to OBS, right? And I go and what was this called? It was called. I'm gonna call it SE purple. I'm having a problem. I'm powering up a lot of Pentium 4 dual core systems, and I'm finding, I don't know, it may need chipset or something like that, but they run with Realtek. Is the Realtek AC97 is the sound card driver.
Right.
And I'm a little bit stumped. I've got 2 machines that with the XP Service Pack 3 that I put on them. I don't know how to get the sound card driver to work. You get the appropriate driver for it. It's listed for XP, and then when you run it, it causes the machine to just reboot and reboot and reboot. And what I saw last night was a guy was saying that somebody was having this problem with a gateway, and he was like, you need to do something with the chipset, maybe flash BIOS or something, I'm not sure. But it's an interesting situation and problem. All right, so Purple Void I've added. Okay, let me go and see if I can magnify this. And I'm going to put this magnifier strategically in a place where I know where I have it. That's what needs to happen. Okay, so I'm going to bring sources up to the middle of this scene. You with me?
I'm with you.
All right, so I hit the plus sign, and I'm going to go to browser. Hit browser. And I'm going to call this SE. Oops. And that was the game screen. So I'm going to put game. I think. Oops. All right. Create new. Wait a second. Hold. I'm not seeing this. I'm trying to get it. Okay. The reason why I'm not seeing it is I'm not. Hold on. I don't know what to do about that. That's a problem, but it's not showing on the stream. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna add the dang thing and zoom back out. And this is what I've got. Now let's see. Okay, now I can see that now on my phone. And what I need to do is go and set it to. Well, first of all, I need to put in the URL. Now let me just look on my phone. Well, I can't see that. It's like I'm not seeing the dialog. So there's a URL at the top of the parameters dialog, and I paste the URL in there, and then I set my resolution, which happens to be 1920. No. Have you installed Stream Elements yet?
I think I have.
Or not? I mean, not installed it, but made your ID or something, connected them.
I think I did the other day. I don't remember.
Okay, so I set 1920 by 1080, and then I hit OK and cross my fingers and see if it's going to load. Oh, yeah, here it's coming on. I don't know what, is my phone dying? Oh yeah, my phone is dang well dying. It's at 6%. Oh well. Screwed now. Okay. And you can, I can see, you can see that, right? So this is, let's, I'm gonna zoom in on this, and we can see up here. We've got recent followers, and it's hard to make that out. That's not coming across clear. But here is my Real Mystic Mask. These are really small here. Follow for stream updates. You can fill this out. Your Facebook, tip goal, or whatever like that. So we've got all this animated stuff that's in here, and this is the first thing I would add my camera to. I'm gonna go back out, and I'm gonna go SC. For a new scene, and I'm going to go, okay, now I'm going to go back to Stream Elements, and Purple Void Animated Super Theme, the second one here, I'm going to click and hit copy URL. And I'm gonna now go back, and in here I'm gonna add again a browser and call it SE. I'm just gonna put next because I've not seen this thing before, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna want to name it. I can rename these later. So I just go next, and again I go. You see what's going on? I paste the URL rather. I've already copied the URL. I paste it, and I set my resolution to 1920 by 1080, and I'm gonna hit refresh cache of current page and hit OK. Cross my fingers. Hope this thing is going to load up here. There we go. All right. So then this is, you know, for example, I can put the, really anything I want. For example, let's just do something fun. Maybe lagging. Hold on. Oh, here it comes.
And you frozen on my end.
Let's see if it's going to calm down. And you, I don't know, you can see those reds in the stats. I can see exactly how much CPU I'm using. I can see that I'm lagged out. Right? It's saying
Right.
my FPS, which I'd like it to be something like 60 or something like that, is not even hitting one frame.
Now, what resource do you have that's using all of that? Is that the browser that you're downloading from Screen Elements or something else?
I presume that this is I mean, this is the thing that I dropped in that really lagged me out, and we could check by switching to a blank scene and see if yeah. Now I just got an encoding overload message down at the bottom. It says consider turning down video settings. All right, so we're coming up towards the end. That's the main thing. I wanted to go over that new layout, and I wanted to make sure that we made some progress there with Stream Elements. Is there anything that you wanted to ask me?
My question is, like, if you cut your screen resolution on that, you know, the browser to like 50% of that, how does that affect your overall stream? So that you're basically, reducing the side of your Twitch stream by 50%.
Yeah, well, one of the, I think it's like 12 something by 720 is a step down, and there's even a more of a step down. And I think if you're streaming to a phone, certainly it's okay, and it's gonna help you. Like what they're, I'm not getting the overload message anymore, right? And
Right.
now I've gone to my frame render time is 3.4 milliseconds, and my frames per second, I'm getting 30 frames per second.
Right.
All right.
I guess what my question is, you know, you have OBS up and running.
Mm-hmm.
So you're using OBS to stream to Twix. and the resolution coming from OBS is 1920 by 1080. So your Twix stream is 1920 by 1080. And you've frozen up on this end.
Right. As soon as I loaded this image slideshow, yeah, this is the culprit right here. I need to go look at that.
And what is the image slideshow of?
Let's see. It's clips of the Three Stooges.
Oh, okay.
So let me. I want to. Okay, I've cut it, and now I'm back up at 30. So that's the thing that really hit me hard. Now I need to go and look at that. A lot of times, if I get these things together, there's a process where
and you've locked up again on this end. But yeah, I can see where that's all very powerful, being able to have your layout like that and being able to systematically, if you've got a problem, go in and check each individual element to see where your problem is.
right. I can right click on this and set transform, fit to screen. Transform, fit to screen. I'm not sure what these are. Forgotten. But yeah, I really like being able to see that. I'm going to grab one that I really use a lot and see. Oh no. All right, I know it's about to cut off the.
Yeah, I've got like 4 minutes. I mean, it's 3:56. So.
Okay, here this guy's just loaded in, and I'm not even getting one frame. So I'm gonna stop it there, and we'll see tomorrow. Are you thinking of coming down tomorrow?
Yeah, after class or whatever. I mean, my goal is, what I want to do is go try to shoot some stuff at the park right at the end of the day. Sunset type stuff. So, we got time to do class, and then I can drive over after class, visit for a while, and then I can
Hello,
still
you're
have time to
streaming
get.
live on the internet. Somebody's calling. How may I help you? That's awesome. All you gotta do is just whenever you pick up the phone and say, "Hello, you're streaming live on the internet," and okay. So now I've got my regular scene back up, and its average time to render a given frame of this thing, it's getting 3.3 milliseconds per frame on average render time, and it's hitting 30 frames per second. So I think it's when you have a new scene and it's a first load situation that that's where you run into this super lag stuff.
Well, so I guess if you've run it, I mean, does it create some kind of cache render somewhere where it's already done the encode, for want of a better term?
Yeah, there's a cache. and sometimes the cache is problematic. What, like, if you were noticing, when I went into, like, if I go to properties here, okay, this is properties for this particular thing. Let's see. Okay, if I go to properties for this, there is a refresh cache of current page button, right?
Right.
This is the thing that you have on your, like, if you have a chat box and you change the font,
Right.
you can figure all this. You can figure all this fancy schmancy font stuff, and it doesn't work, and it just displays what Times New Roman, serif, or something that you really undesirable or whatever. You go in to the parameters thing, the properties panel, and hit refresh cache, and the thing works. But it's got me as to why. I'm gonna let this sit and see if it eventually comes in and goes back to normal. But yeah, that's as far as we'll go today. So I'll see you. And
You have a good one. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
all right, take care.
All right. You too. Bye bye.